Please, we're going to get started. Welcome to Eastern Standard Time again, right? You made it. Yeah, you're here at the right time of day. Welcome to Temple Beth or Beth Torah's L'chaim to Life celebration. My name's Jonathan Phillips. I'm one of the co-presidents here at the Temple, along with my co-president, Fern Cami, who is with me this evening. Or afternoon. To life, l'chaim, 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 to life. I'll stop singing now. All right. Hopefully you recognize that melody. It's from Fiddler on the Roof, right? Very successful Broadway show, played for years, super successful, followed even by a movie. And on the Broadway and movie poster, there's a sketch of Fiddler on the Roof. There he stands, perched up on the roof, above the streets, playing his instrument. There is risk. He's up there high. The roof is steep. The tiles are slippery. Yet the musician plays strongly from that lofty perch. Yet from that risk, there is reward. The sweet music uplifts all who hear it. And so it is today, where we at Temple Beth or Beth Torah recognize 7 special honorees and our Temple past presidents. Like the Fiddler on the Roof, each has risen up to their own rooftop, gathered strength and experience from the climb, and has made a positive difference in the lives who hear their song. We here recognize their song as Tikkun Olam, translated as healing the world. In a few moments, honoree co-chairs, who are seated up here, will be introducing the 7 honorees. They're on your program, but I'm going to read the names as well. Dr. Adam and Barbara Rowan, Howard and Orit Kastner, Thomas and Barbara Faria, and Assemblywoman Annette Quijano. So each honoree, after they're introduced, will address us after they receive an award, and then we'll be taking pictures, and we'll do that again for all 4 of those transitions. Then we'll be recognizing the past presidents of the synagogue, and the rabbi will be leading that. And then from there, we'll go back to the social hall, to the large social hall, and we'll have a nice kosher meal. I'd like to thank all the supporters and sponsors of today's event. The virtual journal, which was shown during cocktail hour, will be accessible in the social hall this afternoon and will be on our website shortly. Apologies to Judy Gottlieb, but you'll be in there when we have the final version, Judy. And we'll acknowledge the gifted and talented members of our Gala committee during the dinner as well. So without further ado, I'd like to turn the microphone over now to our rabbi and our spiritual leader, Rabbi Stephen Stern.
I have to be honest with you, when I walked into the sanctuary as rabbi and I saw so many people, I mistakenly thought for a moment it was Yom Kippur. The psalmist declared, Zeh hayom asa Adonai. This is the day the Lord hath made. Nagila v'nismecha bo. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Those words capture well our feelings today as we come together to honor individuals in our community at this L'chaim celebration. We honor individuals who over the years have made important contributions in various walks of life, in medicine, in government, in education, in business, and in communal leadership. The common thread is that they each have tirelessly, with heart and with purpose, given of themselves to make our community a better place. It's worth noting that the word l'chaim is actually in the plural. It does not really mean to life, it means to lives. That very small grammatical detail carries a most profound truth. Life is not lived alone. Every life touches others through kindness, through the impact of our deeds. Each person we honor today has lived not one life, but many, their own and the countless lives that they've lifted, inspired, and changed. A very wise rabbi once said, "Look around the sanctuary of a synagogue." And then he said, "Tell me, what is the most sacred part? Is it the ark that houses the Torah scrolls? Is it the Ner Tamid, the eternal flame? Perhaps it is the menorah that gives a sacred glow?" No, he said, it is not any of these. The most sacred part of a sanctuary are the people in it. Those who come to pray, those who sit together to learn, those who gather to perform good deeds, those who join in celebration, and those who bring love and caring to those who are in need. We, all of us, are the most sacred part of this sanctuary. So today, we gather here within this sanctuary in a ceremony of recognition and in a true celebration. We gather to say l'chaim, to life, to honor those who have touched the lives of others in our synagogue and in the broader community as well. So let us pray. May they and may each and every one of us be given the ability and the passion to continue the good work, to uplift, to heal, to educate, and to lead. Mechayel el chayel. May we go from strength to strength, and let us all say, Amen. I would like to invite up Barbara Rowan, who will lead us in the national anthem and in the Hatikvah.
Please feel free to sing along. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? And now we all say, play ball. and now for Hatikvah. Kol od baleva panima nefesh Yehudi homia ulfaka mizrak kadima ein Zion Sophia Od lo avda tikvateinu ha tikva shnot elpaim נפתם חפשי מארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים. lietum hafshi beratzenu Eretz Zion Yerushalayim. Thank you.
And now the program continues with the presentations of the honorees. I'd like to call up first a former president of our synagogue, Audrey Silverman, to do the first presentation.
L'chaim to life, a word that celebrates resilience, unity, and joy, even on the toughest days. It symbolizes TBOBT collective vitality. Barbara and Dr. Adam Rowan are examples of kindness, caring, and dedication to our TBOBT family and the community at large. Our gala provides us an opportunity to express our gratitude and celebrate all your accomplishments. On a personal note, I thank you, Dr. Adam, for your unwavering dedication to Howie and I on his difficult medical journey. You are a brilliant, dedicated doctor who always answered my phone calls, and they were many. During the COVID pandemic, when I was president, we all had to press pause on our lives as we knew it. Yashikoa to Rabbi Stern, who produced and organized weekly Zoom meetings where Dr. Adam Rowan kept us all up to date on the status of the pandemic. Barbara, you are a trailblazer who continues to play a pivotal role in your community of Hillside. You have always brought attention to local leadership and was the first directly elected mayor of Hillside. We are all here. I'm not supposed to do that, okay. We are all here to build and continue to build an inclusive, welcoming community. We are a congregation that cares for each other and a place where every member contributes to the success of this very special event. Success is determined in part by our ability to keep trying even when a task is difficult. Persevering can help us succeed in the end. You both represent the driving force of Temple Beth Or Beth Torah. I am inspired by your dedication and innovative spirits. Your courage and sacrifices make you both esteemed honorees of this award. I feel truly blessed and grateful and honored to present Dr. Adam and Barbara Rowan with the L'chaim Award. I thank you for your friendship, and may God bless you.
Thank you very much. This is sort of like the Jewish Academy Awards. You get an award, but you also get the little hot dogs, which is very nice, and we appreciate that. We have some thank yous to make. First of all, we want to thank Audrey for those kind words. Audrey was a tremendous leader during the pandemic and did so much along with Howie, who was a friend to all of us and who we miss deeply and who did so much for this congregation. I also want to thank the Gala Committee for all of their hours of tireless work to make this beautiful event come to fruition. I want to congratulate our other fellow honorees. Bravo to all of you. I want to also thank our family, my daughter, sisters-in-law, brothers-in-law, for traveling long distances to join us on this special day. We want to thank our friends who also have been with us and caring and making our lives better and supporting us for many, many years. And finally, I want to thank Rabbi Stephen Stern for his friendship, for his wisdom, and for his spiritual guidance for us and for everyone else in this congregation, and making it a beautiful thing. And the only last thing that we would have to say is, L'chaim!
Okay, I probably should have done this before. The bathrooms. You want to know where the bathrooms are? If you haven't found them yet, they're in the hallway. Okay, and if you need to leave, we have exits. Of course, the front door. There's one in the back door, and there's one through the social hall as well. So with that out of the way, I'd now like to call up Fern Cami to present to Howard and Arit Kastner.
Thank you, Jonathan. It's funny because standing up here reminds me of standing up here on High Holidays, looking right down in that first row at Howard and Arit. So I do think that's very fitting. As they, as my friends, me as being on here, being the whole time High Holidays, have this honor to present you. So, with that further ado, our next honorees are Howard and Arit Kastner. They reside in West Orange and are the proud parents of Liat and her husband Ruvain, who live in Jerusalem, and soon to be, I'm going to blow it, soon to be grandparents for the very first time. And their son Joshua and his fiancee, who live in Los Angeles. Arit is the daughter and granddaughter of Holocaust survivors. Arit was an active member of USY as a teenager. She attended a convention at Temple Beth Or in Clark in the late 70s. Yes, this Temple Beth Or. Little did she know that this little shul in Clark would become such an important part of her life. She was co-president of B'nai Shalom in West Orange from July 2021 through June 2023. Howard grew up in Clark and was bar mitzvahed in this very room. For 47 years, he has been the chauffeur blower extraordinaire at Temple Beth Or Beth Torah. During the High Holidays, as I said a few minutes ago, this front pew of this sanctuary is occupied by Howard, Arit, Joshua, and Arit's mom, who's with us today. Howard is also our Baal Maftir on Yom Kippur. As you see, he does an awful lot for us and is very well deserving of this honor. Howard and Arit have instilled the love of Yiddishkeit in their children. L'chaim to Howard and Arit. To life, and as you know, life and their family is continuing on. It is with great pleasure that I present this L'chaim Award to Howard and Arit Kastner. Please come forward and accept this award. I actually think I forgot to say something that I wrote down, that I look forward all the time on the High Holidays on Yom Kippur to our walks and talks during the break of services. We always were one of the few that stay here in our walks and talks. We have lots of really good discussions, and I do look forward to it all the time. This is your beautiful award.
Wow. When Rabbi Stern told us that the shul wanted to have a dinner to honor us, my first thought was that for what you have already given to us, and in particular for me for my entire life, that it should be we who are honoring you. Two themes that I would like to speak briefly about today are past and present. First, the past. I cannot walk into the synagogue without being enveloped and touched by the past. This is where I grew up. My parents were founding members here in 1957. My father was the third president of the shul. My parents' names are to be found in several places through the lobby. They made enormous sacrifices to establish this shul. I remember my father often came home late from many shul meetings. And as many of you know, and as Fern had mentioned, my father chanted the Yom Kippur Shacharit Haftorah from sometime in the early 60s until 1991, the year before he passed away. I have continued chanting this Haftorah ever since as a perpetual memorial for him. My grammar school, the Valley Road Elementary School, is right across the street. I lived a few blocks away on Malvern Drive. Twice a week growing up, I would come home from school, have a snack, and then go right to Hebrew school. And then, of course, I would be here again for Hebrew school on Sunday mornings. The first rabbi I ever knew was Rabbi Stamfer, who taught me my bar mitzvah. And I graduated from Hebrew High School right here, our class meeting in what is now the office. I'm enormously grateful to Rabbi Jonathan Porath, who had such a profound impact on me, especially when I was in high school and college here. And he gave me the job of Baal Tekiah in 1979 during my sophomore year in college. I have had the immense honor of blowing shofar here ever since for 46 out of the last 47 years. When I was in high school, Rabbi Porath also started morning minyan here. I used to park my bike on the rack that was at the end of John Street behind the building, and then I came in through the back door by the kitchen. Afterwards, I would get back on my bike and continue to the high school. We would serve breakfast every morning, and I remember if there was a l'chaim, so we'd have schnapps, Rabbi Porath would ask if I'd like to go to school with liquor on my breath. I never took him up on that, but.
You wouldn't today either.
In high school, I played trumpet and baritone horn in the school band. I have not played those instruments since then, but I thank God, by giving me those instruments to play, was preparing me for a long stretch as Baal Tekiah. And for Josh and Liat, until recently, this was the only shul that they ever knew for the high holidays. Very often, when I blow shofar, they would come up on the bima here. Even today, they know all of the songs that the choir sings by heart. And now for the present. Every year, as we approach the new year, in addition to preparing myself spiritually for the upcoming holidays, I also need to prepare myself physically. This daily physical preparation, in addition to getting my lips, embouchure is the technical term for those who play brass instruments, ready, also in turn supports my spiritual preparation. The two go together. This preparation compels me to examine what is happening in my life right now, the present, as well as the lives of the people in my family, community, and Am Yisrael as a whole, even if perhaps I might not want to look at those issues. I simply cannot just show up here on Rosh Hashanah year after year having done no preparation. And for all of us, the piercing sounds of the shofar are meant to wake us up. The sound of the shofar is very much a present phenomena. There is no getting around that. So enhanced by the past and confronting the present, may we all go from strength to strength. Thank you very much for this wonderful honor.
I'm gonna do a picture.
If you've never heard Howard blow the shofar, we definitely, at this point in time, invite you to our high holiday services next year so you can be with us. It's really exceptional. I'd now like to call up our Executive Vice President for our temple, Michael Schulman, to introduce his friends, Thomas and Barbara Faria.
A poor villager went to see his rabbi to complain his house was too small and too noisy for his children to study. The rabbi told him, "Bring inside your house the goats that you have." The man looked concerned and puzzled, but acquiesced. And a week later, the man came back to his rabbi even more miserable. It's still loud. It's more crowded. The goats are eating the books my children are trying to read. The rabbi says, "Okay, take the goats out." The next week, the man returned again, thrilled, beaming. He said, "Rabbi, the house feels so spacious. It's so quiet. My children can study in peace." And the rabbi smiled. And he said, "You understand, sometimes education is about your perspective. And it's true honor to stand in front of all of you today to recognize two extraordinary educators and exceptional members of our community that you can see from any perspective, Tom and Barbara Faria. Tom and Barbara have been in this community for over 60 years, and in those 6 decades, they've been nothing short of pillars here in Clark and have touched the lives of so many families that have passed through their doors. As teachers, mentors, and the heart and soul of Featherbed Lane School since 1988, they've shaped generations of young minds, including my own. I think back on my years at Featherbed as a student, camper, counselor, and a lifeguard. I can still hear Mr. Faria's calm wisdom and Barbara Faria's warmth and her energy. There at Featherbed, they created more than a school. They've built, as Barbara calls it, a home away from home. The classrooms are filled with laughter and curiosity and a sense that every child matters and that every child has something special to offer. Judaism teaches us that education is not merely about knowledge, but about values. The Talmud tells us when you teach your child, you teach your child's child. And that's exactly what Tom and Barbara have done. Their lessons that they've shared have rippled outward from their students, their staff, to their families, and now to the next generation. And I see that in my own life. I get to send my daughter there to school, now to camp, and she's become very good friends with their granddaughter. And they get to go to school together now and camp and all the activities, and it's really wonderful. And that continuity and that weaving together of families and generations is the very essence of what it means to be a Jewish community. In Pekarevot, we're taught the world stands on 3 things: on Torah, on service, and on acts of loving kindness. And Tom and Barbara embody all 3 of those. Through Torah, they've devoted their lives to teaching, guiding children with patience, compassion, and wisdom. Through service, they've nurtured a community where every child feels seen and valued. And through acts of loving kindness, they've given selflessly to others, always with humility and grace. Their legacy is visible not just in the thousands of students who've passed through Featherbed Lane, but in their own remarkable family. They're proud parents of Gina, Tom Jr., Lori, and Nicole, all of whom share their parents' generosity. And they're doting grandparents of Nick, Max, Juliana, Lucas, and Joseph, proof that their love of learning and of family continue to grow into the next generation. Tom and Barbara, your lives are a living lesson, one that reminds us that education is an act of faith. When we teach, we plant seeds we may never see bloom, but you've had the rare blessing of watching so many of those seeds grow into thoughtful, caring adults who now give back to their own communities. On behalf of our synagogue, everyone here gathered tonight, I want to say thank you for your decades of dedication, your generosity, and the way you've shown us that education is truly holy work. Mazel tov to you both in this well-deserved honor. May you go from strength to strength, and may the light you've kindled in so many lives continue to shine for generations to come.
Thank you so much. I didn't realize I did all that, but I do appreciate it, and my wife appreciates it also. I'd like to thank Temple Beth for acknowledging my wife and I for with the love of our lives. It wasn't a job, but excuse me. But we also would like to, even though we are new to the temple, as a congregation, but we feel very, very close to it because many of the boys and girls that come to our camp, our school, we know their parents, In some instances, it's a second generation that we're getting the children of parents that we had. And it just makes it the community, which we are very, very fond of. My wife is always has that issue of home away from home. And we do what we do for our children. And throughout the years, it just built a wonderful, wonderful population of friends and colleagues, and of course, students that we have. When we first took over the school, we had some discussions, husband and wife. What do you think? We were offered the opportunity to purchase the school from the Hartmuller family. And we said, what do you want to do? And so I was the hesitant one. I said, well, I don't know. We have to see. And my wife took the bull by the horns and gave me a kick and said, let's go, let's do it. And throughout the years, it was most worthy, not for anything, but the relationships and the children that have come through, and the parents of the children, and many people here who I know from the town and from their children coming to the school and the camp. We just have built up a nice relationship. And I thank the temple for acknowledging what we love to do. And we thoroughly thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
We're going to take a picture with you now. Would like to point out that Michael Schulman is a second generation. We talk about generations, second generation member here, and his mother, Evie, is here in the audience somewhere. Where are you, Evie? In the back, okay. Well, I have the distinct honor to introduce Annette Quijano. And I can tell you personally, she's a person whose life and values align with Tikkun Olam, healing the world. She's truly caring about people, all people, and she's a fierce advocate for the rights of those who are customarily not heard. I met Annette over 20 years ago when she worked as a staffer for a former governor, and she told me she was a staffer or associated with 3 or 4 different governors, right, passed over the years. But her story started way longer than before that. Her career began as a teen advocate organizing a grassroots campaign to dispute a local cable company's decision to eliminate Spanish language programming. And from there, she never looked back. Her passion for change and improving lives led her to politics and election to the New Jersey Assembly in 2008. And once elected, she got right to work. And I'd just like to say she's up for election on Tuesday, and for her to actually say yes to me a few months ago during an election period says a lot about her. Here's a personal experience I had with Annette. Over 15 years ago, back in 2010, she planned and coordinated a countywide community gardening committee to begin a program to assure that those who are not accessing fresh, locally grown food could get it. I'm proud to say that she included my organization called Groundwork Elizabeth in the steering committee, where we eventually assumed an even greater role. She didn't send a staffer to organize this committee. She did it herself. I know she was inspired to do this to help people like her family who were very invested in farming. That small gardening program was embraced by many communities, and now there are over 200 community gardens in Union County. She felt and feels strongly that everyone has the right to eat healthy for vitality and health, regardless of their income or their zip code. Annette, it wouldn't have happened without you. And as she continued to move the ag needle forward, she introduced other policies, establishing New Jersey Healthy Soils, establishing a grant program for soil testing of urban agriculture sites, and establishing the Urban Agriculture Site Soil Testing Fund. Within the 20th District, she's known for making things happen. Night and day, she works hard to provide the poor and most vulnerable food, clothing, daily necessities, and gifts during the holidays. During the past several years, Annette led efforts in emergency preparedness and in homeland security to assure that faith-based organizations and everyone like ours had access to funding that could keep us safe. Yes, she's an assemblywoman, but the thing that really tells the story about Annette is her dedication and love for her family. And that love for family today has expanded to everyone she meets, like us. Annette, please come up.
Good afternoon, Rabbi Stern, Jonathan, and all your great committee members getting this organized today. It's truly an honor to be here today to receive this recognition from a community whose resilience and faith have long inspired me. I want to thank this congregation and the broader Jewish community for your steadfast commitment to safety, solidarity, and service to others. And while Jonathan spoke about urban farming and making sure that individuals know where their food comes from and be able to grow it, I think there's another issue, another law that I passed that I think you would be interested in, and that is called the Nonprofit Security Grant. When we first began discussing the need for greater security protections for our faith-based institution, it was in response to an undeniable truth. The houses of worship and community centers, particularly Jewish ones, were being targeted simply for being places of peace. Many of you may remember there was a bombing in New York, shortly followed by bombing materials found at the Elizabeth train station, and within a couple days, there was a bombing in the Shore. At that time, I was having discussions with different leaders, faith-based leaders. One was in Elizabeth, and it got me thinking, what could we do better? I think a place of worship should be able to decide if you want undercover police officers or if you want your own security team. What you don't know is, as an assembly person, you get a whole team of staffers, right? You get to pick individuals that's going to help you introduce bills, because the bill process is a little complicated, but each House, Assembly, or the Senate gets to hear a bill. At that time, I was chairing Homeland Security and State Preparedness. I also had a secret weapon, and that was a staffer that's here today by the name of Shane Darris, and his family's here. And with his assistance, we wrote the New Jersey Nonprofit Security Grant Program, and we began it as a pilot, and it was nonpartisan. And to get that first million, I can tell you, is tough. And what we did is we decided we would do a pilot program and then talk about our results. And by having those results published, we could go on and have it become permanent. It was one of the first programs of its kind in the country. This is state-funded, not federal-funded. The state-funded effort was to provide nonprofits with resources they needed to strengthen their security: cameras, alarm systems, access controls, and emergency training. Now, in Homeland Security, when you're doing something for the whole state, it becomes bipartisan. Both parties said yes. The pilot program proved what we already knew, that when government partners with a community, real progress follows. Over time, the program grew from that small, targeted initiative into a statewide model of protection and preparedness. And in 2022, well, before then, Governor Christie made sure we had another $1 million. And we're like, okay, we have $2 million now. Let's see if we can start building on that. In 2022, under Governor Murphy's leadership, we reaffirmed and expanded the commitment, and we got another $1 million to help the nonprofits, especially those at heightened risks of hate crimes, continue to safeguard their facilities and their congregants. Today, this program stands as both a shield and a symbol, a shield protecting our most sacred spaces, and a symbol of New Jersey's enduring promise that no one should ever fear for their safety because of how they pray, gather, or serve their community. I'm deeply humbled by this honor, grateful for the partnerships. Together, we have shown that compassion and vigilance go hand in hand, and that when we stand together against hate, we make New Jersey stronger for everyone. Thank you very much. Okay.
Again, congratulations to all the 7 honorees, individual honorees. And now it's time to actually turn the page and recognize people that have given a bunch of commitments and spent a lot of time for our own synagogue here, our past presidents. And for this portion of the program, I'm going to ask our Rabbi Stephen Stern to come up and take the reins.
As a rabbi, wherever I go, I always take notes. And listening to the speakers, Michael, the goat rabbi story may appear in a sermon next year at the high holidays. Thank you for that. Today, in addition to our distinguished L'chaim honorees, we pay special tribute and express our deepest heartfelt gratitude to our past presidents, those who over the years have led this congregation with vision, with purpose, and with heart. I have had personally the immense privilege of working with almost all of them, and I have seen firsthand, up close and personal, their devotion, their tireless efforts. I have seen how they responded to the call to lead this congregation. To lead a synagogue means giving of yourself, not just in time and effort, but with love, perseverance, and a sense of sacred responsibility. I have been with them here on the bima, in the boardroom. I have seen them at all hours of the day and night. There were many times when they would have rather been home with spouse and children, yet here they were, tending to the needs of the community. They were here leading in celebratory times and in times of challenge. For their dedication, their sacrifice, we will always be grateful. There is in our Shabbat liturgy a very beautiful prayer. It is a Mishaberach prayer, one that invokes God's blessings. And it reads in part, V'chol mi she'oskim b'tzorchei tzibur be'emunah. May the Holy One bless those who devote themselves faithfully to the needs of the community. Oskim b'tzarchei tzibur be'emunah. Those words suggest that to truly lead, you have to roll up your sleeves and immerse yourself in all aspects of the job that needs to get done. It means coordinating with the various committees to make sure that we prepare for the high holy days, to make sure that we fix everything that needs to be fixed, that we're there to support members who are in need, to contribute to the well-being also to the broader community. It means getting the word out that Temple Beth Torah is a vibrant center of religious life in central New Jersey. It means making a difference in the lives of all. This and so much more our past presidents have faithfully done. And so we honor them today. We recognize their years of service, and we honor their legacy of commitment that goes beyond the ordinary. To you, our past presidents, may God bless you with strength and length of years, and may you continue to be an inspiration for us all. I will now ask that our past presidents rise as I call their names so that we can acknowledge them. Sebly Hausler. Stanley Fink. Benjamin Margulies. Sue Margulies. Robert Fritzen. Karen Langer. Wendy Mandelbaum. Lillian Makow. Janice Hymanson. Audrey Silverman. Evelyn Schulman. Fern Cami. Jonathan Phillips. I hope I didn't leave anybody out. I want to ask all of you, the past presidents, to please come forward, and we have a special plaque for you.
Take a picture, so stay up here. Sue? Karen, this is yours. Fern?
Wendy? Okay, I'll bring it. No, you better bring it if I have to. Fritz.
Come on up, we're going to meet in the middle, take a picture. Where do you want me to stand? I'm just ready to... Okay, we'll take a picture. We'll take a... You can We'll take a picture. No, you're dropping. All right, come on, everybody.
Audrey, put it down.
All right, everybody. Let's have another round of applause for all the past presidents and these 7 exceptional honorees. All right, now our dinner. And so let's adjourn through these doors, go into the large social hall where we're going to have actually a motzi prayer by Ben and Sue Margulies. We're going to be leading that prayer, and then in the social hall, okay? And if you choose to have an alcoholic beverage, it'll be available for purchase as well. So please now exit, and we'll see you in there, and